Say hi.
Hi.
Go ahead. We're going to Grammy's in a little bit, okay? Hey everybody, if your young kindergarten, first, and second grade students are learning how to read, then this is the video for you. In today's video, I'm going to share 5 easy decoding strategies that you should teach all of your learners. This way they have those skills and strategies to be able to attack words they don't know and figure out what they mean. In case you're new here, my name is Susan Jones. I am a former first grade and K-2 literacy teacher who now spends a lot of time here on YouTube sharing tips, ideas, activities, and all sorts of fun stuff with teachers just like you. Over the last couple years, I've actually uploaded over 100 different teaching videos, so be sure to subscribe to my channel. I upload a new video every Thursday and Sunday. So let me grab my notes and let's get started with those decoding strategies. I have a little helper that has joined me. Okay, so tip number 1 is when your students come across a brand new word that they don't know how to read, you want to remind them to start on the left. You like that?
Yes.
You'll often see your students' eyes kind of scanning through that word, which is good, but then sometimes they don't know what to do next, especially if they're noticing, oh, I don't know what that says, I don't know what that says, what do those letters make? So you want them to take that finger, put it to the left of the word as a visual reminder that this is where we're going to start. This also helps students get that first letter or first sound down and kind of put it in their mouth already so they are ready to keep going through that word. It gives them a little bit of a head start. Tip number 2 is for students to purposefully look through that word for any chunks that they might notice. Now, I mentioned in tip 1 you want students to start from the left, and you absolutely do, but after they've gone ahead and figured out that first sound or the first couple letters that are there, have them look through the word to see if they can identify either a digraph, maybe another consonant blend, maybe they see a vowel team or that silent E on the end. Remind them of these different chunks and phonics patterns that we have learned or we've taught them so far as teachers. If students are able to see, oh, wait a second, I see AI here, and I know AI says long vowel A, and they've already gone ahead and figured out the first digraph at the beginning is CH, A, all they have to do is go ahead and add that last sound. Being able to pick out these little chunks helps students figure out the word in more manageable pieces instead of looking at the word in its entirety. Now, you may have heard me just say for them to look for chunks, right? Or phonics patterns like a vowel team or a digraph or a consonant blend. But if this is a word with with 2 or more syllables, you also want to teach them to be able to break that word into syllables. That can be their chunks that we're talking about, and they can break that word into smaller chunks, and then they can go ahead and blend it and figure it out from there. After all, it's much easier for students to go ahead and break that bigger word into smaller pieces and decode. Decoding strategy number 3 is to have students slowly stretch out that word. They've started on the left, they've looked for some identifying chunks, and now they're going to slowly figure out those letters, sound them out, and try to blend them together. If students are used to tapping out the sounds and then blending them together, if you've done that with any sort of phonemic awareness activities, you can have them try that as they are reading this word as well, especially if they're able to go ahead and identify the different sounds to the letters. So if they're able to do that accurately, have them, instead of staring at the paper when they do that, say those out loud and try to do it with their tapping, and then they can go ahead and look and recognize that the letters on the page match the words. It's the same exact thing. This is a pretty popular strategy. I'm pretty sure in some old decoding strategies, this was called like Stretchy the Snake or something, where essentially you say it nice and slowly, or you say it like a turtle, and then blend the sounds together. But this allows students to hear the individual sounds in the word to then put them together to figure out what it says. Tip number 4 is one of my tried and true favorites, and that is to have students blend successively. Now, we just talked about students identifying the sounds from left to right, looking for the sounds they know, and saying it slowly. But sometimes students still get fumbled up trying to blend all those sounds together. Let's take the word club, for example. They have that blend at the beginning, and even if they say k, ooh, b, they could say that over and over, and some students just don't have the ability to get it all together just yet. So instead, I teach them to go from left to right and blend successively. So they would say k, ooh. I would tell them to blend that, cool. The next sound is Cl. All right, what's that last sound? B, club, club. This helps students do that blending in smaller pieces so they're able to get that word together. All right, decoding strategy number 5 is for the student to say the word aloud and make sure it makes sense. After all, there is no purpose in decoding all these words, especially within a book, if it doesn't make sense and you don't know what it means. So plenty of times students might decode the word and let's say they got the vowel sound mixed up, right? Let's say they did a long A instead of a short A or whatever it is, and they said that word aloud and they're like, okay, I decoded it, and then they go on to the next word. And again, while they may have decoded that word, they didn't comprehend or understand that that word isn't real or it doesn't make any sense in that sentence. So this is where we're taking all those parts of literacy together and we want them to decode the word and make sure it's correct. By reminding students to go ahead and make sure that word makes sense, it also gives them the tools to self-correct and think about what they're reading as well. So therefore, they're applying a lot of different critical thinking skills as they're decoding these words. And of course, if it's not correct, we can go back into that word and figure out where we got mixed up. Maybe we need to switch out a vowel sound, which could really be a 6th strategy. Now, I know there are many different decoding strategies for teachers to use in the classroom, but when I was a K-2 literacy teacher, these 5 were my favorites that works the best for me and my students. So I would love to know if you have any other decoding strategies you like to use with your students. Drop them down in the comments below and let's take a look at them. Let's talk about them and give ideas for teachers to help our students learn to read. And just to run down these 5 strategies one more quick time, strategy number 1 is to go ahead and put your finger all the way to the first letter on the left of the word. This visual reminder will remind students to go from left to right as they decode. Strategy number 2 is to go ahead and look for those phonics patterns or chunks that you already know within the word. This might also mean separating them into syllables. Strategy number 3 is to slowly stretch the sounds that you identify in the word to try to blend it together. Strategy number 4 is if slowly stretching those sounds didn't work, have them try to blend the sounds successively. And strategy number 5 is, does that make sense? We want our students going back to that word, figuring out if it belongs there and if that's really the correct word they were reading. So there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you can see all of my new teaching videos, and click that bell because that will send an email to your inbox every time I upload a new one. See you next time. Bye.